Welcome, guys, to another review video by Samurai Reviews.
Yes.
We are your hosts. We have Brett and Josh. Today, we will be non-spoiling the Frozen 2 movie.
So, Frozen 2. I really enjoyed the first one. I thought it was very unique. It was a refreshing, original idea that Disney had done. I thought the characters were very diverse and strong, and I really enjoyed. It's probably like an 8 for me, the first one.
Yep.
This one, unfortunately, especially at the beginning, does not have that same sense of depth and gravity, and just the storytelling ability is just not there in this one. Not to say this is bad. I still think this is a good movie, but it is definitely not a worthy sequel to what the first Frozen was.
I was going to say, it's better than all the other Disney sequels.
Yeah, I mean, it's no Move On 2 or Brother Bear 2. Those are like, what are you doing to my movie, man? What are you doing to Kenai? That's not Joaquin. Yeah,
Sequel,
yeah, it's
but
still
not...
it's still good. It's just a bit of a drop off. Yeah. So for my rating, it is a 6.5. I really think the second and third acts of this movie are actually, the second act I thought was very good. The third act was just a little above average, but the first act, and specifically like the first 15-20 minutes, was so shallow and so like bland, I guess. Like they didn't know how to start it back up. Like they were like, oh man, we had this amazing first movie. We have to have this crazy adventure again. Like we got to have an adventure that matches that kind of energy. But we have no ideas, so let's just talk for 15 minutes and then start the movie. It's just the most dry and shallow exposition that you can have in a movie involving characters that you aren't really accustomed to. You don't really have that sort of fondness for, that are kind of driving the storytelling at the first 20 minutes. So you just thrown in this movie, you wanted to see, oh, I can't wait to see Elsa and Anna and Kristoff and Sven and my boy Olaf. And they're just like, you remember their parents? They're going to be here for a while, so you better remember them. And you're like, yeah, I guess. But like, that's kind of how it starts. And it's very, I mean, it's meaningful in the end. I really liked the theme of this movie. I did. But yeah, it's just shallow. Olaf basically adds 2 whole points to this movie just because he's hilarious, and I like his whole like existential crisis thing that he has throughout the movie. Yeah, specifically in the third act or second act, it definitely picks up, and the story kind of feels like that Frozen 1 kind of excitement, and it definitely tackles. I think it, as much as I was disappointed in this movie, I really want to give it credit for tackling such a really tense and kind of avoided issue of like mortality and of like even like reparations and stuff like that. Like, and it tackles it in a way that's very informative to children, and it's not too, it doesn't go straight at it. It's very nuanced, and I think it was very well structured in terms of like teaching kids these valuable life lessons. And I think it did that very well. It's just, unfortunately, the storytelling and the entertainment aspect of this wasn't quite as exciting and fun. But yeah, the visuals are stunning. Like the nature that they show you, like the water rippling, like looks so real. Like
Yeah, the forest.
Yeah, the forest
that they show.
Sven's fur, like, was crazy.
Yeah, all
looking.
the reindeers.
Like, I was like, wow, that's yeah. I thought it was up there with Toy Story 4. Not as good, because Toy Story 4 was just looked fantastic. It was crazy, but it's up there. It's visually. You can tell that they're getting scary good at this. So yeah, it's a 6.5. It's still a good movie. Definitely, if you liked the first one, I think it's an obvious decision to go see this one. Other than that, it's kind of like I don't know. Do you like Disney movies? The music is good, not first movie level, not great, but 1 or 2 songs in it that I really enjoyed. That's about it. It's a good movie, just a little disappointing.
Before we get into mine, let's just stop here and kind of give a little shout out to Kazuya Cam Production. which they are the ones producing this review video, helping us out.
Until
getting
John
those
Cena
review
sponsors
videos
us.
and getting those review videos out to you guys. They are a film and photo production company, and you can check out their website down below at causyoucan.production.
Whoa, look at all those beautiful pictures. What do you got over there, Josh? Whoa, those are also beautiful pictures. Companies, do you see this? That's crazy. I do good. I do good.
Yeah, you did great.
Did I not ruin the trip?
So Frozen 2, my rating is also a 6.5. I really did enjoy it. Leaving the theater, I did have a higher rating, but thinking kind of back on it, first movie was an 8 for me as well. But being that it's a musical, let's just kind of talk about the music aspect of it.
Okay, so when you got out of it, did you not just go like, let me restart. When you got out of it, what I did was I listened to the soundtrack again, and then I got about 2 songs in, and I was like, I'm gonna listen to the first one. Yeah. That was so much better. I'm gonna listen to that instead.
And okay, so disclaimer kind of first is that this movie is obviously going to be compared to the first Frozen.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you're asking for in sequels.
So the music was obviously well more. It was better produced than the
Goji Berry produced.
The first one was better produced than this one.
Yes.
Got it.
Nailed it.
The second one's obviously not going to be as... The music is not good as the first one. You get a lot more Olaf in this movie, and this could be a bad or a good thing depending on whether you kind of just find him annoying or whatever. But I absolutely love him. I loved every single part of him.
He was funny as hell. I laughed out loud.
He was like the comic relief in Men in Black.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah, Kumail Nanjiani's little alien dude was...
But better.
Yeah, just a little bit better.
I think he was kind of the translator for the kind of more heavy substanced message to the kids. Yeah. And I thought he was so perfect at that. Yeah. He was very good at explaining in a very funny and lighthearted way these really deep, kind of dark messages that you're getting from this movie.
So kind of dealing with that is that he's kind of the only one that's bringing out
like the fun part of Frozen that we were like.
Yeah. He's the only one out of the whole thing, because between Elsa and Anna, I'm going to switch over to them. Between them, you get a little bit more of a ridiculous drama.
I felt like they were shells of their former selves. Yep. Like the first movie, their like relationship with each other and the conflict that they were facing within each other as well was just so it has so much substance to it. And now I'm just like, oh, you're just kind of manufacturing plot points at this point. Yeah,
you're going back to where it was in the first one.
Yeah. It didn't have that natural feeling that Frozen, the first one did, that original creative kind of.
The drama between Anna and Elsa were a little bit, I'm saying ridiculous because it was well over the top, and that's because it was just very cheesy, cliche. But you gotta... It's a kid's movie. Yeah. So it's going to be cliche or cheesy.
That's why it's not like a 3.
That kind of stands out with Olaf, making it better, and his character like dynamic and that kind of stuff. Music was not... It didn't suck. I'm just saying it's not as good as the first one.
Yeah, I didn't hate a song. I didn't hate a single song. I wasn't like, oh my God, this song.
One of the song gave me goosebumps.
There's another one that made me laugh. Yeah, like the whole way through. Uh-huh. It has its moments. It's just disappointing because you like. I was so excited for this movie. Yeah. I like talked about it all the time, and then it came out, and I was just like, man.
I felt the drama between Elsa and Anna was the same as the first movie, where kind of just like the sister love kind of just conquers all.
5 years or something, and I was like, you guys, have you guys talked to each other in those 5 years? Yeah, I know. I feel like you're at the same point you were.
I'm going into Kristoff. I did not understand this character.
He was kind of... you remember Finn in Star Wars when they were just like, I don't know, we don't know what to do with him. Send him on a side journey. That was Kristoff in this one. Yeah.
he was just really there for convenience sake.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And then they wrapped it up at the end. They're
Yep.
like, oh yeah, we
gotta do something about this.
I agree. It could have been a really better story, but it wasn't.
So,
And I liked, he was one of my favorite characters in the first one. I thought he was so like fun. He was hilarious and like, yeah, I liked him a lot. But in this one, it was just kind of like,
this one, they really screwed him over.
It's just kind of average now.
So I like how they expanded the world that they're in a little bit and kind of touch on Elsa's magic powers, how that came out all to be. Kind of get the backstory and the back history of that. There's a positive and negative side to that. The positive side is that you kind of get a few things clarified and explained that weren't explained in the first movie, that were plot holes. But the negative side is that you're relying on the past and like the backstory too much, that you're not really focused on the main real story.
Yeah, and I felt like they tried too hard to make it connect to Elsa rather than making it connect to the world they're in.
Yeah.
Like the world of Arendelle or whatever, right? It was just which it could have, like, they could have done that and it would have been way better. It would have added to the universe they created, but they just tried so hard to have it all about like it's Elsa's past, and they did not have to relate it directly to her. It could have just been a vague thing and it would have been the same message.
About that, I really loved it. I really loved the world that they were expanding. The magic kind of happens.
They should have focused on it more.
For me personally, that's interesting. Character development was definitely not there for me. I felt like the characters were just, in the end, just get a new title to their status rather than personally like their character changing. Mm-hmm. Like how in Toy Story 4 Woody, his character totally changed in the end. It's not like his status actually dropped, but his character changed.
They were talking about how this movie is all about change, and it was just kind of like, I don't know, it seems like you're kind of in the same place.
Even Olaf says it. He's all like, "Oh, didn't you feel like a transformation after this whole thing?" And I'm just all like, "No, I did not get that at all."
Yeah.
It
felt more like it was a self-acceptance thing, which that's what they did in the first one. Yep. Like they already did that.
They already did that. Yeah.
She let it go, and she accepted it. Like that was the whole point of the first one. So yeah, it just felt like running in place a little bit, but.
My rating for a 6.5 is I had to drop it a point because it was the exact same thing as the first Frozen, and then 0.5 because the music just wasn't as good from before.
That's a 6.5. 7 review.
And that concludes our non-spoiler portion of this review video. If you want to see the spoilers, stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out later on this week. Hope you guys liked it. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and we'll hope to see you guys next time in our review video.
Perfect.